final table, 180 man, guy shoves for about 5 big blinds at big blind 3K. What do? Well, hero is the gigantic chip leader, so when you are that big gigantic chip leader and someone is shoving a small amount and you're thinking about ISOing, here's the stuff you gotta think about. Okay, so number one, the guy's shoving 5 big blinds. Am I ahead of his range? Well, of course. Number two, just because I'm ahead of his range, do I dominate a large portion of his range? Yes. Now, if you remember in a previous light bulb video where we were discussing isolating, it's in, I'm not sure what the number is, but I believe it's in the high 20s. We were talking about doing it in 9-mans. Now in a 180 man, so we're thinking about, do we dominate parts of his range? Of course, ace 2 through ace 8, perfect, maybe even king 9, heck, maybe queen 9, jack 9, 10 9, maybe, but definitely the aces. Then where is he shoving from late position? That's good because it indicates his range would be a little bit wide. Then, as you know from the previous video, we look behind us, and here's where it gets really important. That guy has 50K. If we got all in by isolating here, which is, by the way, the completely standard play, don't do it. If that big blind called, it would be a disaster, a train wreck, an explosion. You do not want that, okay? In a 9-man, like in the other video, it's less damaging, even though I still don't want it. It's less damaging because you could always get back to that, four-handed in a 9-man. You can do that every day of your life. But a final table of 180, that doesn't happen as often. So when you're here, you have to take care, especially when you have 30 big blinds and you are the chip leader. So, number 3, the next thing you want to be thinking about here is to shove or not to shove. We're saying clearly do not shove, just flat. So, my shoving range here, 0. 0 hands. Maybe ace king. I think ace king would be fine. If you want to shove 10s or jacks, okay, that's fine. I would just flat here, and here are the hands I would be flat. Ace 7 I would fold. I would go ace 8. I would be going ace 8. Ace 7 I would be folding. King queen at the word. King jack suited, maybe if you knew that this guy was wide for sure. But basically notice how I'm being pretty tight here. I'm pretty sure if you stuck this in a program, it would tell you that you can shove the bejeebas out of this hand. I don't recommend it because when you have 90K, think about it. Your value in this game, your journey to winning this game is going to come from using your chip lead to your advantage without spewing it on a call just because it's bussy B. So I'm looking at somewhere around ace 8, king queen, maybe king jack suited, and pair-wise somewhere around 6s. Maybe 5s. 5s feels a little bit loose. 7s feels good. But the main thing is do not shove to isolate. Okay? For some reason in poker, people make it out to be that if you want to isolate, you have to raise. Well, Google the definition of isolating. It's about getting one entity, one person, one thing, one whatever, one thing alone. You don't have to shove to do that because here your call can serve as an isolation play and you don't have the risk of running into the whopping 50,000 plus chips from the big blind. And by the way, if you shoved here in the big blind call, what do you think that guy is going to have? It's going to be bad news. And you can avoid that bad news completely by flatting to isolate instead of shoving to isolate. And that is the light bulb moment. So from now on, do the flats, not the shoves, when you have that big stack in the key important situation. And when the big blind shoves, if he shoves over your flat call, you're going to have the joy of being able to see his hand because when you fold, you get to prove to yourself that you're right. And that's going to feel really good when you get to see that you saved your butt because you took the advice from this video and flatted instead of shoved like everybody else will tell you to do. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope that it makes a difference, and most importantly, I hope that it saves you when you do run into that situation where you are screwed by the big blind, and then you can protect yourself at a key final table and then go on for the victory. See you guys.